Welcome. This is David Boles, Human Meme. Today's topic, friends on the streets. I talk a lot about the streets in this Human Meme podcast, and that's because when you live in a big city, a walkable city, it is the streets where the action is happening. The lives, the deaths, the burnings, and the being born. The streets in the urban core are both harbor and havoc, and they're an important barometer telling you about what's happening and why, and you can track the spirit of the people right there from the gutter, because the discarded and the filthy end up there, not swept away, but waiting for a moment to return. We've lived in New York City for over 25 years. We've never had a car. We don't need one. We take trains. We do not take buses or dollar vans. We find buses are a little slow and unreliable, and we can often walk faster to our destination. A walking city is an urban core where, within 10 blocks or so in every direction, you can satisfy your every want. Doctors, churches, supermarkets, coffee, restaurants, pharmacies, entertainment, everything. Everything is in walking distance within that 10-block radius. New York City is an original walking city, and perhaps New York City is even the first neighborhood city where you don't have to venture more than 3 blocks from your home to fulfill every living need. Because New York City is compressed and compacted and built atop each other. I have met many people who were born in New York City on the Lower East Side, and they have never, in their entire 70-year life, ever traveled above 14th Street. They say they have no need. They say there's nothing uptown that they can't get from their neighborhood radius into which they were born. Now, I find that sort of navigation by neighborhood slightly drastic, but those Manhattan bottom dwellers can satisfy their every need and fulfill their every dream by making 14th Street their Maginot Line. It is really important, vital really, to have friends on the street. Friends watch out for you, and you watch out for your friends. Some of my favorite people in my neighborhood, other than my neighbors, are the delivery guys. For UPS and FedEx and the Postal Service, these guys are alive and working, and they are strong, and they are my good friends and street associates. The delivery guys, even though they don't live in the neighborhood, they know the temperature, the street temperature of the neighborhood, what's going on, what's happening. They see everything, and they're non-threatening to the locals. These delivery guys know the streets better than you do and better than I do. The delivery guys also know the customer is always right and the customer stays number one. And perhaps they're yesing me with their friendly conversation, but I prefer a false harmony over a dead-end reality. Oh, and tipping my delivery guys every year likely has nothing to do with their congeniality. Well, I don't care about the when or the why, only the result We have each other's backs. And I tip all my delivery guys because they really do work hard and nobody else around here tips them, and I appreciate the work they do for me every year. Now let's take a quick pass at the holy trinity of the urban core. Know these. Use these. This information is your friend. And here they are. Street economy. Street enforcers. Street ethics. Street economy. The street economy is vital to the overall action of the city. You have peddlers and panhandlers, but mainly you have prostitution and drug money running the sidewalks. Stay out of it. Don't look at it. You won't get hurt. Don't flash your money on the street. Don't talk big. Don't set yourself up for a challenge from a stranger on the street, or even a friend, who wants to prove you wrong. And do not carry a weapon unless you plan to use it, or that weapon will be used against you. Respect the street. Don't be a rat. Be a friend. Be neutral. Be invisible. Because the economy is not run by the city or the cops or the clergy. The street is run by those outside the system who have created their own system. And you're an invited guest in that system. And you are expected to keep moving along and not ask too many questions and just see you soon. Street enforcers. Street enforcers are not necessarily pimps or drug dealers. The little old lady who lives on the corner and who watches everything passing by her window every day is an enforcer because she knows. She watches. She remembers. To be an enforcer, you have to have eyes on the street. You have to be able to know why things are changing and how quickly you need to maneuver in order to avoid trouble. Street enforcers are also the police, neighborhood watch with a fist. They're the most visible barrier against the gutter life. But they're on the same streets as everyone else. And so that sameness of level is a problem as temptation and convenience sometimes overwin the most astute aesthetic and composed constitution. The players on the street never do their own enforcement. They pay others to do the dirty work. And if you ever see a street player picking up a gun and shooting someone or stabbing someone with a knife, then something has gone terribly wrong and the street has been reset. Street ethics. Yes, the street has its own odd set of rules and morality. And street ethics don't always fit into the convenience of a Pandora's box, even though the result is often the same. So you have to be aware of what dangers and perils are swirling around you. And you get to know the morality of the street by reading the sidewalk. You need to know people, who belongs, who's a stranger. Talk to them, but not in a threatening way. Get a feeling for what they are sensing. Tell them what you know. Street gossip is the original social media meme, and it plays an invaluable role in knowing who's out, who's hunting, and who has a beef to pay. You can ask questions on the street, but just make sure they know your face first. Let them see you. Let them get used to you. Try to fit in, even if you don't, without trying too hard. Now, bad people, like thieves and robbers and enforcers, don't usually go after people they know and live next to because it is risky. And it is also bad form because ripping off your friends and neighbors on the street violates the code of the street. To not be a jerk to someone in your similar station. It's us against them, not us against us. Now, as we wrap up this conversation, I'm going to share with you one more secret bonus tip. Street envy. Street envy is a powerful motivator. Be aware of it and be scared of it. Now, don't confuse envy with jealousy. Jealousy is something that's between three people, like dating or sex or other human wants. Envy is about things and everything else. I want what you have. Your shirt is better than mine. I envy who you are and what you made yourself out to be. You cannot control the envy of others, but you can moderate it by making yourself neutral and non-threatening and non-competitive. You don't have to brag or even appear successful. Just look and behave and act dogged and hardworking and leave your real shining personality behind. Hide it if you can. Shade is your friend when thwarting rising envy in others. And don't be envious yourself. It's a bad thing that leads you nowhere. Remember, envy is more powerful than greed, revenge, or love. Envy rules the street because envy invented the street. Envy took the first step down into the immortality of the gutter. Thank you for listening. Be a human meme.